I'm a long-time Terraria player and really love the game. After 900 hours, I still can't get enough of it, so I am constantly watching different Terraria content creators for random stuff while waiting for 1.4.5 to drop. Don't worry guys, I am sure we will get the update soon, right? And then a few years ago I heard about a game called Core Keeper. It was on early access and was very much like Terraria. Not only that, but Relogic also went and made a crossover with this game, so you can say I was quite surprised. But decided to be patient and wait until it leaves early access to give it a try. So here I am today after finishing the game, and overall I had great fun with it. There are some things that I loved about it and some stuff that I didn't like as much, but I'm not here for a review video. While playing the game I had a wide range of impressions that go from "yeah man, I know this feeling from Terraria" to "oh, this is pretty different now, ain't it?" I wasn't planning to compare the games this much but couldn't stop myself, to be honest. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not calling Core Keeper a Terraria-like, but it would simply be funny to ignore the obvious similarities. And as a fan of this genre, I can't help but think, damn, I wish this was like that, or what if they added that stuff? Of course, Terraria is over 13 years old now, and holy hell, it is 13 years old? In any case, it is a long-running game with many content and improvement updates, and Core Keeper is a fresh out of early access title, so I kept that in mind while preparing the list. Except for one point, I guess. I never imagined I'd put this guy on a wishlist for another game. Stop opening the door, goddammit. The guide in Terraria has two main roles, giving you tips on progression and showing you the stuff you can do with materials. Core Keeper does well on the first part with the core itself. If you are ever lost, you can talk with it to get a hint. But when it comes to asking for item recipes, you get the cold shoulder. Well, it doesn't need to be the core itself, to be honest. You just cannot ask anyone what to do with materials. I got some slime and the item description tells me it can be refined further. But how and where? And assuming the game gets more content updates with time, crafting will get more complicated. It can be an NPC or a system or an object, but I would be happy to have an in-game guide to tell me what I can do with stuff. Terraria's weapons and accessories have modifiers, and I never really noticed how much it adds to the game until playing Core Keeper. I did miss having a random legendary or mythical affix on an item and getting a huge DPS boost, or dropping a super good weapon with annoying modifier and throwing it to a chest. Core Keeper lets you reforge and upgrade your items, but the modifiers just give much more randomness and variety in gameplay. Vanity slots. Really, there is not a whole lot to talk about here. There are vanity items too in Core Keeper, but no extra slots to equip them while keeping the actual gear for combat. Whenever I get a new gear, be it an armor or accessory or especially a weapon, I want to see if it is better than my current ones. In Terraria, just putting a few dummy targets around is mostly enough, and if I want exact numbers I just slap in a DPS meter. Even if a DPS meter is too much, I really would like to see a dummy target in Core Keeper. Gotta see if changing the gear really affects anything, and monsters aren't really the best target practice. Okay, so hear me out. I don't like it when I die in a game and my character drops its items. Doesn't really matter what game it is, I don't like running back to the same spot to collect my leftovers, and if a game lets me turn it off, I do it. Terraria's default difficulty lets you keep the items on that, and if for some reason you really want to drop your items, you just select the option for that. In Core Keeper it is not really hard to get your inventory back, to be honest, but I wish there was a setting to just turn that off. If you want to punish a player for that, be my guest. Just don't drop my items please, I really love them, okay? Core Keeper has consumable food, consumable buff potions and consumable health potions, and not a single hotkey to quick use these items from your inventory. You put all of them in your hotbar, use them, and remove them from the hotbar. Not too big of a deal for food, but potions last only 1 minute and you have to keep them in your hotbar for the whole fight, and keep reusing them. Why? Just put 1 or 2 buttons to use whatever food or buffs you have in inventory, and another hotkey for health potion. In Terraria, the NPCs go back to their room every night and stay there. In Core Keeper, they walk around like mindless drones and leave the house to never return back again, or just stand in front of a workbench for no goddamn reason. You just can't move them around, or you can't even kill them. Why am I even hitting you if you are not going to die? Just move already. Oh, and whoever thought giving an NPC a repeating idle animation with an annoying sound effect was a good idea, I assure you it is not a good idea. Alright, this is probably going to be the most difficult one in this list if devs ever wanted to implement to Core Keeper. But really, it is the single most important thing I have to say for the game. Map is just too big. For fuck's sake man, this map is huge and I don't even know why. The first 2 areas of the map are okay, really. There's a lot of stuff you do and learn while you are playing in the inner ring, but holy hell if biomes in the outer ring are white. I felt as if I am playing a large world in Terraria on my first ever playthrough. And maybe that wouldn't be too bad for Terraria with its current content, but Core Keeper does not have that much stuff yet. The world size is just too large for its own good and slows down the pace of the game. It would be great if there were alternate world sizes and the current one was at least a middle-sized map. I can see that it wouldn't be an easy task, but a solo player should be able to choose a smaller map cause it definitely doesn't need to be that big. In Terraria you can use items directly from your inventory and in Core Keeper you cannot. You first need to put the item in your hotbar to use, otherwise they just drop to the ground. You cannot right click it in the inventory to use either. When I first noticed this limitation I was just genuinely confused. It was like the item disappeared with no effect, but apparently I had just thrown it away like trash. I think we peaked as a society when Terraria implemented the quick stack to nearby chests feature. Just press a button and boom! Everything goes to chests. Well, unlike the most popular game ever in the world, which does not have a quick stack button for each chest, Core Keeper lets you stack items in storage by pressing a button on UI or just the hotkey Q. But still, with so many chests around, you do spend a ton of time going to each one and pressing Q around. I don't know how hard it is to do, but I ask this to literally all the game developers. Please add a quick stack to a nearby chest button to like all games. Terraria just opens the door for you when you walk through them, simple as that. In Core Keeper, normal doors do not, and for auto doors you need to put some pressure plates, and just why? I'm not sure if it was a coding limitation or something, but if not, then just let the doors auto open to players with no need for some wiring mechanics. This way we can simply use normal doors for aesthetics too, instead of being forced to use electrical doors or fighting with the damn wooden ones. Alright, here is the content nitpicking, and that's because I just love magic in Terraria. Core Keeper needs more magic and summoning weapons in it, and what it especially needs is more variety. The reason Terraria is so amazing with the magic content is you do more than just hurling firebolts. You got magic guns, blood rains, meteors and razor blade typhoons and whirlwind spawning stuff. When in doubt, you can always shower your enemies in gold too. Core Keeper seems to have released most of the magic and minion weapons in 1.0 release update, so I am sure there will be much more to come with time, but currently it feels really lacking. I mean, you have a melee weapon with this kind of effect and have undead mobs that do cool shit like this. Just implement a magic weapon that does something similar, or more. I could talk a lot here, but I will just let this note talk for me instead. Just kidding. Wool in Core Keeper is mainly obtained from an animal. And if you are unlucky, then you gotta search a lot to find one to get some wool. This also happens with some other items where you need them for progression or summoning a boss, but they are simply rare drops or obtained from weird stuff. And you find yourself simply grinding mods so that you can fight a boss or make an important item. Terraria isn't super different, alright, but usually has more than one way of getting rare drops, or the thing is not really needed for progression, you just do the grind optionally. I also don't believe I put this here, but fishing quests. I found myself asking for them while fishing in Core Keeper. They just bring more fun to the activity and give you some more reason to go fish. If Core Keeper had such a mechanic, I'd definitely be fishing in different areas of the map. Also in Terraria, it helps you interact with the world. You dig a lake in an area or go fill an empty space with water buckets to make fishing ponds. Terraria has tons and tons of items, but the base character inventory limit is quite high, and there are also 4 different ways to increase that even further. Piggy Bank, Void Bank, Defender's Forge and the Safe. To be honest, if you have even 2 of these on you, you won't ever have inventory issues. But that's not so for Core Keeper. Even if you can increase the limit a bit in this game, my bags were constantly full because of so many random stuff dropping around. Just give us a way to increase the inventory space further please, or maybe a separate bag for storing the junk items, that way it could also be easy to sell to merchants with a single sell junk button. I didn't put this into the list itself cause, well, it wouldn't be too fair to Core Keeper. But what makes Terraria the Terraria that everyone loves so much is progression and progression alone. Terraria does so many things well, but its strongest point is without a doubt the sense of progression. The way you start with a copper sword and then get a knight's edge, a space gun, the bee's knees or an imp staff, then you get into the hard mode for much stronger, much wilder items, tons of accessories and armor, and so much more. Core Keeper resembles Terraria, and that's because it has a somewhat close gameplay and a similar sense of progression, but it definitely needs a bit more strength to back that up. Man, there are only 8 magic weapons in the game. I spent like 15 hours with the same weapon. Core Keeper is already fun with what it currently has, but it can only get better and better with more numbers and variety in equipment. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Have you played Terraria or Core Keeper, or maybe both of them? Do you agree or disagree with these points, or have any other ideas that can improve Core Keeper? Let me hear your thoughts in the comments and see you in the next video. Have a great day.